right, real quick, I'm going to show you how I make our laundry soap. I call it homemade. It's not truly homemade. Truly homemade soap is made from lye that you make yourself out of wood ash. That you make it out of a wood ash and fresh water. Not water from, not city water, not county water, but fresh water from a spring, a river, or whatever. And then, of course, you use animal fat with it. That's true homemade soap. We're going to call this homemade soap, although it's not really homemade. Anyway, it's made from 3 ingredients. That's store-bought ingredients. And what I'm making here is 5 gallons. 5 gallons of homemade laundry soap. It is pennies for a 5-gallon bucket of homemade laundry soap. So here's how I do it. I've got a special pot that I use just for that, just for the laundry soap. I put about a gallon of water in it and get it to almost boiling, not quite boiling. And that way it doesn't take so long to. I don't put the whole 5 gallons in there because that takes too long to bring to a really hot temperature, a really high temperature. So I just use about a gallon of water, and then I get a 5-gallon bucket, and I fill it almost full of very hot water. All right, so what I do is I grate. I use the grate. I have a grate just for the naphtha soap. I don't use it for anything else. And I use 1 bar of naphtha soap. 1 bar of naphtha soap. I grate it really fine. Now this stuff is hard to melt, so you want to get it fine. So that's 1 bar of naphtha soap. It only costs $1. You can use 2 bars or a half a bar, whatever you like. You don't have to stick to what I do. You can make it real strong or weak. Then I use 1 cup of washing soda. 1 cup of washing soda, not baking soda, washing soda. 1 cup of borax. 1 cup of borax. And it's just simple. Very, very simple. I simply dump that in there. How you like that, huh? Makes a good use of that plate. Dump that in there, and that's it. Get it melting. This stuff melts kind of slow, so anyway, so you got your bar of naphtha soap. You grate it, dump it in there, and just stir it around. Keep stirring it. Grate it as fine as you can. That way you don't spend all that gas or electricity trying to get that soap to melt. Very hard to melt. Anyway, don't do it in big chunks. You'll regret it. Then I roughly use a cup, like I said, of superwashing soda and a cup of borax. This is $1, and I don't even know how much this is. Maybe $2 or $3, and same with this. People call it homemade. It's not really homemade. Like I said, homemade is lye you made yourself with wood ash and then some sort of animal fat, preferably beef. It is windy here in Georgia today. Cold and windy. This is my witch's brew. Anyway, just pennies for a 5-gallon bucket. And sometimes I'll make 60 gallons of this stuff at a time and just store it. I actually have about 10 gallons already made, but figured I'd make this. Okay, now that's pretty melted. It's pretty good. All right, now roughly, we'll get us. Man, it's so windy I can't set my Can't set my phone down. See, let's see. All right, if it tips over, it tips over. Whoa. It's cold out here. All right, let's do the borax. All right, so that was a good bit, over a cup each, which is fine. I'll make it strong this time. That's it. I will stir this up. Make sure everything's good and melted together. It's all liquid. Sorry. Anyway. Just stir it real good. It's important that you stir it really good. Kind of infuse everything together. Make sure everything's good and liquefied. There's no granules left. Now see, it just takes too long if I was to fill this all the way up and get the water to almost boiling and keep it there. That's crazy. It just takes too long, wastes too much energy. So you just use about a gallon and a half of water in your pot, and then fill your 5-gallon bucket to so high with good hot water from the faucet, and pour it in there, mix it up real good, and it kind of mixes everything up, infuses everything together. Anyway, that's it. Homemade laundry soap. Use whatever you want. A cup, a half a cup, 2 cups, however strong you want it. A cup, half a cup, 2 cups, however strong you want it. And use your half a bar, a full bar, or 2 bars. So I had somebody one time saying, oh, that laundry detergent isn't very strong when you make it yourself like that, but that depends on how you make it. You can make it as strong as anything you can buy, or you can make it very weak. Whatever you want, doesn't matter. So it's a good idea to make a batch of this, kind of medium, and make a really strong batch for really dirty clothes. But man, I do, I get dirty at work. I get that Georgia clay all over me. I dig in the mud all day sometimes. Filthy, I mean nasty. And this stuff gets my clothes clean, so I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Homemade laundry soap right there, all mixed in, good together. That's it. That's my special stick I use. Now what I do is leave it in the 5-gallon bucket in the laundry room. Leave it in the 5-gallon bucket, keep the lid on it, and I keep a stir stick right next to it. Keep the lid on it like that, and I just keep my cup here, and I just use a cup full. That way you keep your stir stick right by it, so whoever's using it can just kind of stir it up a little bit before they use it every time. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna pour this in here. See if I can get the other side. I'm going to pour that in there. That's it, and just kind of stir it. Remember now, this is faucet water, as hot as it can get in this 5-gallon bucket. Just don't dump this stuff when you make it. Don't just dump it in a cold bucket of water. Make sure that water is hot from the faucet, hot. Stir that up real good. That's all you gotta do. Get it mixed in good together. That is mixed. Now you let this sit for about 24 hours or till it totally cools, which probably 8 hours at the longest. And then stir it up again one more time real good, because it'll be kind of gel. And stir it up every time you use it. Just give it a little stir, and then dip your cup in there. And that's it. Anyway, we'll see you.